and welcome back to the Age of the Ring campaign. We're continuing on with the Two Towers. We did Fords of Isen in the previous level, and now we're actually returning to the Fellowship for the first time with Frodo and Sam and the Taming of Smeagol. So I'll just boot that up for you now. Doodly-doo. There we are. So this was a level which it did a sort of 180. It was a level we knew had to exist. Didn't have to, we wanted it to, but we were nervous about how to do it, and our first iterations were... It was quite a boring level. The stage we got to now, after a few edits and changes to the plan, definitely works for the team, but I think it'll always be a bit of a Marmite level for people.
I don't think Gandalf meant for us to come this way.
You either love it or you hate it, I think.
He didn't mean for a lot of things to happen, Sam. They did.
Let's face it, Mr. Frodo. We're lost.
Go. So this part of the beginning here, it's thankfully not very hard. You know, it's not like Shadow of the Past where you're going to really get hammered by confusing puzzles and being chased by Nazgûl. You know, it's relatively simple. There's no real threat. You can't be crushed by these towers. So you can absolutely take your time. And if you ever wanted to know, you can actually identify these as the heroes you had before. If you hover over them, you'll see you've had 8 missions with each so far. So it's a nice way to see that they are the same characters, you know, level to level. Maybe that's completely uninteresting, but I've always slightly enjoyed that continuation. Where are you going, Frodo? There we go. Right, let's go down here. This, I've mentioned it in the team chat, but this was originally in the team playthrough, that is. This originally was 180 degrees, sort of flipped vertically. You started in the bottom left and moved north. And at some point that was changed. I don't fully remember, but I believe it's generally easier when the camera's behind your guys moving forward rather than coming... when they're coming towards you than going away from you, because I think things are less obstructive when you're making the map. It's a bit of an odd thing to describe, but yeah, it did get changed. So I had to flip this whole section of the map, which was rather interesting. Turned out fine, though. Right. I've not hit too many of these collapsing towers, which makes me think this one definitely will collapse on me. Yep. So these collapsing pillars are randomized between different paths, you know, similar to Shadow of the Past in that way, but not quite as intimidating. There was points where I was considering putting in little Gollum cameos sort of on the rocks and things, but I decided against it, I think, probably mostly due to just the amount of effort. I didn't have time or energy. We had a lot of missions to do. Plus, I don't think you need it. It's not a very long section when you to go through. Even if you do get lost, it's not too bad. Let's sneak down this way. This one, yeah, there you go. This should be the way now. Always like these textures. These are a lot vanilla Battlefield Earth 1 textures, and they're some of the best ones I think EA made. If you're mapping a map, it's very easy to use these.
Smell it. We're not alone.
There we go. See, this is where the development of the level got quite hard. Creating this fight, and specifically with regard to Gollum going up and down rocks, was awful. It took an amazing amount of time to get that to work properly. Here he goes. There he goes. So those animations, he has them for going up and over walls like the goblins do in the game. But they weren't ever used, so Max was able to get them to work here as he goes up and down these invisible ladders. Which is great, but it was an absolute pain in the arse to get working.
I've been waiting for this.
Right, let's make sure I don't die here.
They will not take the ring.
There we go. You've got to be very careful here, because if he gets a few hits in on you, he can kill you. I'm going to run over here, so I've got a bit more time, because I know when he goes up and escapes through here, he will appear and run back down this rock, so I've got a few minutes to get a bit of healing in. Here he is. So does he, to be fair. Maybe I should just get him before he gets ahead of himself. Get him.
Think of Shadow! Back, you creatures!
Better run Frodo away. before he demolishes Frodo.
For Uncle Bilbo!
Let's get that in. There we go. So he used to come and go more often. I think it was about 4 times. He'd run off the map, come back, but it just prolonged the fight. And it's already a bit lengthy. When he escapes here, you've got a bit of a moment's gap before he actually enters back onto the map. So it's determined in the interest of time to not do that quite so much. Right, Sam, you use that. Frodo, you stay back. I don't want you taking too much damage.
My blade yet.
Right. Let's see if I can heal this. Ah, no problem, see? Didn't even need a heal.
This is Sting. You've seen it before, haven't you?
There it goes.
Gollum.
These were some of the first cinematics that were made for the campaign. Tried to make a lot of those first this time around, so we had more time to review them and change them if we needed to.
It's hopeless. Every orc in Mordor's going to hear this racket. Let's just tie him up and leave him.
No! That would kill us. Kill us!
Creating these often takes a lot of work with getting all the audio files. You can get some from other games where they're already isolated, but in other cases you have to go through, pluck the lines out and clean them up as best you can. It's worth doing, but it's very time consuming.
We swears to do what you want. We swear.
There's no promise you can make that I can trust.
We swear to serve the master of the precious. We will swear on the precious.
The ring is treacherous. It will hold you to your word.
Yes. On the precious.
You know the way to Mordor.
Comes eating a bug there.
You've been there before.
Yes.
You will lead us to the Black Gate.
There we go. Find your way out. I mean, a lot of people get confused because the camera rotates. Yeah, you actually go north. I guess it can look confusing because they're sort of mirror images of each other. That's okay.
He's a villain.
It's good, this. So if you can make it through that fight without getting without losing too often, it's not too bad at all. You can lose very easily there, though, and I still do regularly lose there quite a lot. Right, so let's get out of here then. It's nice to have Smeagol playable. There's a pretty creepy image of him, though. They used to have a few more things which were removed because they made it too easy. He used to have a speed buff, so you'd actually go a bit quicker through the marshes. When I found that out, I was like, oh no, we can't have that. It can't be that. That has to be more grueling. You can blame me for that.
Oh,
Here we go.
it's a bog! He's led us into a swamp!
Swamp, yes, yes. Come, master. We will take you unsafe.
These videos were all cut by Cal and Max. They went through and I would basically send little links to the sections I needed, and they would cut them all out, put them in game. So we've got a lot in Two Towers. I'd say more than Fellowship of the Ring. But it's great. Here we go. Collect wood for fire, and wait here for a rest. So this used to be something that you'd find as a bonus objective in the level. It wasn't a main objective to do this, and it wasn't in this part of the map. It was way over to the bottom right. Send Gollum over there. And so yeah, when we did the level, we did a bit of a revamp on the level, and it wasn't quite working. This was moved to the initial objective because we had it. Why not use it? You know, give a bit of background on Gollum. A lot of people struggle here, I see, playing this because they have their graphics on low. If you have your graphics on low, you won't see these particle effects around the collectibles. So you'll actually struggle a lot more here because it'll just look like a random bit of wood and a quite nondescript. You know, it's not obvious in any way without, I think, those particle effects. So always keep your graphics on high where you can, because it'll be a lot harder without it. See, not too bad at all collected. Boom.
So bright, so beautiful.
Why is Frodo still on the floor? Oh, there we go.
Did you say?
Wasn't Nazgû anybody's business?
Why was he spinning around?
Who are you?
Whatever.
Cold we heart and hand and bone, and cold we travellers far from home.
Gandalf told me you were one of the river folk.
It's a bit of a loud
Did you
business.
not see what lies ahead when sun has failed and moon is dead?
He said your life was a sad story. You were not so very different from a hobbit once, were you, Smeagol?
What did you call me?
That was your name once, wasn't it? A long time ago.
I like how Sam sleeps face first on the ground, face pressed into the mud. The lighting changes here a bit. It goes a bit more bright. That's something that happens... No, don't go in there yet. That happens in Two Towers. We didn't know how to do that in Fellowship of the Ring, but in Two Towers we can switch lighting. Only to some degree. We can't really change much, but lighting colour, if you can put it that way. We're able to switch through scripts. So we can do things like this, where it gets a bit brighter at this stage of the level. At the beginning it's a bit more gloomy and drawn out. I don't know how we would have done the campaign without that ability, because some levels, yeah, the light changes a lot. Here we go. Here's where we meet an interesting character.
You must go no further, Perianath. The spirits of the dead lie in wait. They will harm you if you pass.
What are they?
These spirits belong to warriors once under my command. Their death is on my conscience. They are trapped in this place, unable to move on, consumed by rage and grief. You must break the evil spell that binds us to this wretched land. Find our barrows and destroy them. Only then can you pass through in safety.
What do we do now?
We have no choice but to trust him.
No, Master, he catch you.
There is no other way.
I will help you do this. Follow me, so that we may free my people from this curse of undeath.
There we go. So this is, I think it's just called Cinder Spirit, but it is Orifer, who I would be lying if I said I knew who that was, but it's Legolas's granddaddy. He died hereabouts in the past. So when we were redoing the level to try and make it a bit more interesting, he was introduced as an idea. Which I think I poo-pooed it first because it was a slightly different concept. It was going to be like we relive battles of that time, and he'd be there, what have you. But then it changed to him just being a guide, basically. Giving you somebody a bit more interesting to use to fight some of these characters. But he's awesome. All this extra dialogue and his character in general adds the extra plot to what's actually going on. You're not just crossing the marshes, you're helping him redeem himself, finally after all this time. So no, it's an awesome, awesome addition. And really good voice acting and some lovely effects on there. Yeah, no, it really changed this level in such a way when he was added. I think the whole team loved it a lot more. There we
This
go.
barrow has been cleansed. My kinsmen will cease to hinder your passage.
Hobbits go down to join the dead ones.
Yeah, so here's where you have to be nervous, because once you destroy the first barrow, then the fell beasts are on the prowl. So you've got to be ready to use these little spots here, these little hiding spots, and basically garrison them with your heroes. I'm not going to worry about that yet. Oh, hello.
Steel your heart.
There he goes.
A Nazgûl approaches.
Hide. There he comes.
Your cloaks will not conceal you from your gaze. Seek shelter nearby.
There you go.
Frodo! Come on!
So,
This wraith will not hurt
yeah, he's incredibly loud. I'm going to have to turn him down. He's so loud. What is he under? Voice? That can't be right. Sound effects, maybe? Turn the music down a bit too, I think. Bloody hell. Here's one loud Nazgûl. Yeah, he will basically routinely patrol the marshes looking for these three. He won't attack Orifer and he won't hunt him out. So you've got to bear that in mind, because these are scattered all throughout the map, so you can go from one to the other. Just make sure you know you're going before you go too far, or he will catch you out and he will munch your hobbits in a few bites. Is there any hiding spots around here? Because I don't want to leave my hobbits in there the whole time, because I think that's quite boring. Oh, there's one. Alright. Let's run there. Nah, let's wait for the next pass, actually. I got nervous. It does make you nervous sometimes playing this level. You don't know when he's going to turn up. You know, he's this ominous presence at all times. Have you killed these guys yet? Oh, I just destroyed the barrow. Oh, where's Sam? Oh, fucking hell. I let him go. You better run, Sam. I thought I'd sent them all back in to hide. Never mind. Oh, here he comes. Where is he? Sometimes you can see him in the reflections of the water, which is, yeah, rather scary indeed. I don't see him. There he is. Creepy fucker. So you do have to bring your hobbits with you, so I wouldn't advise leaving them in these hiding spots, because it will not do you any good. Not in the long run. Because you'll have to come back for them either way. So I think you'd just be doing yourself a disservice there.
No, you cannot kill them, no.
Let's go this way.
The Nazgû patrol the marshes. Be wary
There we go.
and prepare to hide when they approach.
There's a lot of voice work going on in this level. Movie clips, custom voicing, a lot of that stuff. Stop killing Frodo, leave him alone. Right, you three. Let's go find another hidey spot. Hopefully there is one. Oh, I don't want to get killed. Let's get rid of these guys.
Be gone, you creature of shadow!
Yeah, they're rather mean. See, it's been a while now. This is about the amount of time where you really want to know where you're going to hide, and I don't actually have one yet. There we go. See, we're fine. Nothing to worry about when you know where you're going.
Gonna need all my strength for this.
There we go. Now, I know music was a lot of work. Oh, hello.
It's safe inside.
Music was a lot of work on this level to get enough tracks to mix in here. I know Carl did spent a long time mixing custom tracks and blending everything together. So he had enough different music for this. There we go. Let's get these guys out.
You won't stop me!
May as well use them if we got them. I'm also going to use this, I think.
I think I'm getting the hang of this.
Right. These guys don't infinitely spawn around the barrow. You are always being sort of chased by a few guys throughout the level, and that's just so you've got something to actually attack. Otherwise it'd be quite empty a lot of the time. So there's always something to do.
Do not stop to rest just yet, Periana.
No, I don't think I will. It's a bit unnerving. Right. There's a hiding spot. Now, I'm not going to activate this, but I will show you. I mean, there's something should give away that there's something wrong here because we have torches, you know, lights. You shouldn't be following the lights, but I'm going to have a look anyway.
I sense a great evil here.
Yeah, so there's a lot of foreboding. We've got skeletons, lights, audio, but for some reason people are tempted to take this treasure, and I wouldn't recommend it. I'll leave it for you to have a look at that, but you don't need treasure, so you should have no need to pick it up. But people are drawn to it. They're like, ooh, something sparkly. I'll have that. There was going to be more of those things in this level at play at times, but we don't really need it, I think. There's enough going on. Right, he's pissing off. Don't come, if you come out too early, he will turn around and come back for you, so it's worth bearing that in mind. That, yeah, he's not... Because he comes from a random direction and always leaves in a different direction to where he came from. There's an awful lot of scripting that goes... There was a lot of work that went into getting that Nazgûl to work properly. Because originally he was on predetermined paths across the barrows, across the marshes, but then it was realised that if you do that, it's such a big map, you never see him, you know?
We'll be safe inside.
There's so much space that he'd never encounter him. So now he'll always hunt you out, but then he'll always leave, hopefully in a direction that's quite far away, so it takes a long time before he comes back. Although saying that, if he goes out of your sight, at a certain distance he will disappear, so, you know, just ways to speed up him coming and going, as it were. I'm going the wrong way. Oh no, I'm going the right way. Let's run there. Okay, you guys are going to have to fucking book it. Right. Let's kill these elfy ghost guys. Don't kill their they don't kill Big Daddy, so we're good in that regard. Oh, you guys are taking a long old time. I wish you'd hurry up. And this map, I think, will be confusing to a lot of people, but there is only one right way. There's no multiple paths. You know, there's just the one way to go. So it's not too bad. In the original iteration, you have a few different options, and you destroy different barrows as you went. So it was a lot easier to get lost. Saying that, I do realise that looking at it, it's quite easy to get lost on this map. It's quite homogeneous. To actually make the map, it was a lot of work texturing it, but it's not too bad once you get into a habit of you basically just let them take the brush tool, set it to a certain height, let's say 10 units below ground level, and you just squiggle in lots of little ponds and just do that across the whole map, and then eventually you get left with once you put a water layer in there, it sort of does its own thing, it does the job for you. Now let's run before he comes back. Well, there's one there. What if I can find one that's a bit further away? Let's have a look. It's quite unnerving with that music in the background the whole time. The big issue, the big effort with this map was texturing all this space. Because there's so many little islands that it just takes a very, very long time to go through each one. Texture every single one and every single puddle. You know, go through and hand. Uh-oh. Do I have a plan for this? There's one. That'll do. We can run there. Oh no, here he comes. Oh no. Let's stop those ghoulies in their tracks. Oh! So you get a few hits before you're completely done for. Ooh. There you go. Yeah, piss off, dude. Look at him go. I've never... Yeah, so yeah, it took a long time to sort all the different objects to look normal, you know. You don't want a bush to appear in the middle of the grass or to cover the whole path, you know. It's a lot of tiny little visual tweaking. Let's go this way a bit.
I hate this place. It's too quiet.
Oh, him screaming all the time, it bloody well isn't.
No birds is to eat.
That way.
We are famished. Famished we are,
I am not going to bring these guys out till I know that Nazgûl's come and gone.
We must starve.
Because he will do me in.
I'll starve.
Enjoy listening to these two.
Love it. He does not care if we
Come on, Nazgûl.
He does not care if we
Let's have a look at this guy.
die.
He was made, I think, in January this year, so he was a pretty late model to go in. It's cool though. Creepy dead eyes. Yeah, these guys just accept their fate. Oh, that Nazgûl's taking his... Aha! See, I was about to risk going out there. Where is he? Here he is. Let's let him piss right off. Off he goes. Right, let's run. Let's run all the way down there, and then let's hide again. So I've seen people leaving their hobbits at the beginning of the level, and yeah, and I wouldn't advise it, because you still have to go back and bring them the whole way here. And then Nazgûl will still be chasing them, you know, you can't beat the level with Orifern without them there as well, so it's definitely not advisable.
Here we go.
Oh, it's on to attack. No, don't do that. You attack them. There's a gull pecking at my window now. Wait there. Yep, didn't quite scare him away. Oh, you're not hiding. I'd recommend it. There we go. Right, I'm going to send this guy ahead. Oh no. Which way is it? No, I think it is this way. I have a feeling it's this way anyway. Yeah, that just loops back up to where we've been. So maybe I don't know the way. How do I go down there? This can't be the way. This is where I came from. That's where the barrow was. Let's go up here. Ah, that looks promising. Here we go. It's not an overly long level either if you know what you're doing, and if you're patient and don't take too many risks, it's not that hard. You know, your heroes are all pretty tanky to everything but Nazgûl. When did I last hear him? It was a while. Maybe I shouldn't take the risk. I don't think I will. I'm not fancy really dying at this point. Don't think there's anything down here other than quite a lot of fog. Let's go this way. Ooh, it's gone eerily quiet now. Let's creep down here. The system for spawning the ghosts, I know I've mentioned this before, is we had a real problem with this level. And how do you spawn a ghost, you know, out of thin air at a point on the map? Because there isn't really a system for doing that. So what we ended up doing was these dead bodies, which were already in the ponds and rivers, act as like markers. You know, you can give them a name, and you can change that name every, let's say, 5 seconds to the nearest one to your hobbits. So that way, we always had a reliable anchor. So if you needed to spawn an enemy, you spawn them near something. You know, it wouldn't be some arbitrary point. You know, ages and ages away. So thank God for that, because I think it would have been quite hard without that system to actually get these ghosts to ever find you. But again, that's one of those things that now it makes perfect sense and easy to do at the time. I had no clue, you know, working out as we went along. You don't even think about that till you get to the point when you are bringing ghosts onto the map and you've got no way of actually getting them anywhere near your heroes. Right, is there a hidey hole somewhere around here? Because I've had a bit of bravado and I've sent them a bit far. Oh, there's one. I would run down to that as soon as you can. Bush. These guys are getting torn up by hobbits. Not torn up by hobbits, torn up by ghosts. Ooh, get in there. Look at this. I love the way you can actually see them when they're in there. That was really neat. Because the only thing that's actually a custom object here is the grass. Everything else is just map-placed props. But a very clever idea on the part of the art guys and the code guys. I think Carl in particular did a lot of work on that. He realised we could just have a bit of grass and it would work fine. Right. I think that's the last of the normal barrows. Now we've just got to hop, skip and jump our way.
Let us keep
There we go.
moving.
At this point, unless I'm mistaken, you're given a respite from the Nazgûl. He stops turning up, just because in combination with the next part, it seemed a bit unfair to have the Nazgûl attacking you. Getting chased by a ghosty.
I will slay them.
What was that? Not your death noise, Sam. There we go. Beat a ghost to death. This fog slows you down even more. So when you are running away from a Nazgûl, it's quite scary. You get hit patches of fog and you can't run. Right. So this next part is sort of our last barrow we've got to deal with. Kill that ghost.
We're all trapped here.
We will not be able to fight our way past. That great barrow is the anchor to the Dark Lord's spell. It tethers these wicked shades. We must burn it to release them.
Let's go destroy a barrow. See, before we didn't have any real final objective. It was just cross the marshes, you know. So it's a totally different level now. And, I think it looks very good. The game has nice lighting, nice water, and nice fog. So it's nice to be able to use that. And yeah, I think the addition of Orifer and his
They are in endless time.
part in the story
We
is
must destroy their barrow.
really good. I'm gonna let you kill all these ghosts. Oh, I don't want you killing that ghost. You're a bit of a weedy little thing. Well, let's use that actually, because I haven't used that before. No, he's dead anyway.
Die, monsters!
Right, you can go deal with that. Sam, is anything happened to you? No, you're just fighting a ghost. Can I spawn a pot of stew? Why don't you do that? Right, Gollum. This one people often don't see because I think there's some fog that slightly obscures it. There you go. So if you have low graphics, you're never going to see that one. That isn't intentional. You know, it's not because we want to punish people using bad graphics. It's just because we test it on high. You know, so we can't account for everything else. Right, let's grab that. There we go. So this one we don't have to destroy. We just have to stand near it. If we stand near it. Boom. Explodes. Through sheer fear. Gollum's gonna bitch slap that ghost.
The great barrow has been cleared.
There we go.
My warriors are released.
Job done.
The passage through the marshes
That's
is
cool.
now open to you. Come, we must go quickly.
Yeah. So now the Nazgûl's back, so bear that in mind if when you're escaping. You're not out of the woods yet, but most of the work is done by this point. So these are the Dol Guldur barrows. When we started making this, I don't think they even existed. That's how long ago this level was, you know. Dol Guldur wasn't out, it was still in development. But they look really good on this level.
We'll be safe inside.
Right, let's hide you guys. I'm going to send you ahead. So the testers found a very good exploit with this, which, thank God they did, is you could basically run to the end of the level without the hobbits. It's provided you got there, it would just trigger and the level would end. So you didn't have any real need to bring them with you. Sneak through there. Yeah, you're big and scary. Has he come and gone? I guess he must have.
What's in there?
If he hasn't, I'm making a grave error. Here we are. Let's plonk you up there. Am I brave enough to just run all the way? I probably shouldn't. Should I? No, come on, let's be cautious. Why be so reckless right at the end? There we go, we reached some sanctuary. He's just sat there waiting for them, unimpressed. Let's use this, why not? For fun. That's an awesome noise. Very cool effect too. Diddle-doo. So if you had to describe this route, it's sort of, if I didn't draw it with my mouse around the minimap, it's kind of along like this. I guess the longest path you can make, if you look at it that way, without crossing over yourself. Here he comes. Last time I have to deal with you, you big bastard. Where is he? Here he is. Off he goes. So he randomizes everything. He randomizes the noise he makes. He's set to sort of, I think it's like a 1:5 ratio of screaming to fell beast noises, because if he screamed all the time, it would be quite grating. He randomizes the direction he comes from and the direction he leaves from, but always with respect to the, if he's left from one side, he won't return that side, if that makes sense. We don't want him to look like he's doubling back on himself. It would look a bit daft. So he randomizes in all kinds of ways. If you ever fancy looking at World Builder, there's a ridiculous amount of stuff going on there.
Thank you for
I'll be quiet for this bit because it's quite nice.
With your aid, I have atoned for my past deeds. I can
Fucking
feel
Nazgûl.
the pull of the utter west. My spirit cries for leaving. Thank you, Frodo Baggins. Though you have not told me, I have guessed your purpose. You bear a great evil with you, but you have the strength to resist it. Go now, and may the White Stag's blessings be with you. Farewell.
Hurry, hobbits.
He's off.
The Black Gate is very close.
That was an awesome little part to have in there. I'm just going to skip the cutscene because I can't show you it anyway, so no real point in me showing you that, sadly. There we are. So that was that level. Not too bad. 33 minutes. I think it could probably take you closer to 45 if you're struggling or you die a few times, so not terrible at all. But no, one of my favourite levels by far at this point, and yeah, down in part to a lot of revision and a lot of extra stuff given to me by the rest of the team, so very good. Ooh, 3 hunters. Lovely stuff. So that's what we're dealing with next. I'll probably play that now, but for the sake of this, yeah, I'll stop this video and I'll start the next one. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful if you're struggling with the level, and yeah, thank you for sitting through it. And I'll see you in the next one. All right then, bye-bye.